Hey guys, my name is Dominik, and I'm joined by Jess and
Hello.
Twan,
Hi.
and we are going to talk about Melodi Grand Prix, heat number 5. Heat number 5, and what do you think about it? So the first duel was Tuveya versus River. Interesting choice, I would say. So one was the Norwegian one, and one was the country song kind of song. Twan, what do you think about it?
Well, interesting choice for songs, both songs and duel. It was kind of a coincidence that they got to duel with each other. For Tuve, I just think it's so wacky and so weird, but I don't know if it's a type of wacky and weird that I like. I appreciate it for it's different, and it's original. Well, I'm happy that River made it to the gold duel because I preferred that song.
Yeah, Jess, what do you think?
So I'm going to completely disagree with Twan as usual, and I'm going to say that I preferred Twoe, however you say them, to River. And I think Twoe it was fun, it was catchy, it was something very different, and yeah, it was a little bit cheesy and maybe not the most kind of high quality song, but it was fun, and I absolutely loved the kind of traditional element in the music as well. Whereas River's song, it was a good song, but for me, I'm not that keen on country, so maybe that's why I didn't like the song very much. But I found the song rather forgettable and a bit kind of boring, whereas Tuove's song was more like eye-catching and appealing and more memorable. But hey, congratulations to River.
Okay, so honestly, I'm more on Twan's side. So, yeah, sorry, Tuveya wasn't my thing at all. I think I appreciate the effort. So they really, really tried. I mean, the staging was colorful and they put everything on. Like, there was a big truck on it, and then there was a violin player, and almost like cheerleading, and probably like trampolines in the background, and they were really trying everything. But it came across as cheap. I'm sorry. So it kind of looked like a primary school performance. I'm sorry.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So honestly, the staging looked pretty cheap. Like you can just push it off like this. So it looked like, okay, it's gonna fall off at any time. They had fun. It was in Norwegian, so always a plus about being a Norwegian song. It was the last Norwegian song in the running. Remember that, because like besides the Andre Schanzen song, or like how's it called in Norway? Because there's like
I think it's just the second chance.
I think it's something like Sister Chanson or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because all the final songs at the moment are all in English, because the Norwegian ones are gonna get translated as well. So keep that in mind about that. But anyway, so I prefer River because it's country, and normally, like Jazz, I'm really not a country guy at all. But I must say this was a good country song because it was very pleasant. It was nice to listen to, and I think the 3 minutes passed by pretty quickly. And I think the vocals were good, so I definitely agree with this duel. Yes. So the second one was the woman duel. We had Anne Fan, I hope that's her name, against in America. So, Jess, what do you think about this duel?
So I thought this was probably the stronger duel of the two of them, just because we had these two kind of female, kind of powerful songs in this duel. And I think I would have to say my favorite was definitely America, not just because of her amazing hair, which I'm jealous of, but just because I feel like she kind of poured her heart and soul into the performance, and you could tell that it really meant a lot to her, and that she was just kind of belting it out as well. The vocals were amazing. Whereas with Anne's song, it was it reminded me a bit of like 90s R&B. It was, for me, like a bit boring and forgettable, and maybe didn't stand out as much as America did. But it was still an amazing song that, deserved to be on that MGP stage. So, yeah.
Okay, Twan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jess. I think the second
Yay.
duel was definitely the strongest, and that's the thing I've noticed in the last couple of semifinals as well. That the second duel tends to be a little stronger. Like we had Ola versus Emmy, and we had Royan versus
Kim.
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 Sorry, I forgot his name.
He was the winner, by the way. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with the fact that America had an amazing song. Her vocals were amazing. I just think she's a great songwriter. She also wrote Feel Again for Kaya Rode, this MGP. So she's got 2 songs in the final. I think it's a great song. I love it. I always love these types of songs. Her vocals are on point, especially on the high note parts. And whereas with Anafina, I like the song, but I just feel it's not really dated. I just feel it doesn't really fit in, and I don't really like saying that. But I just think America is a better fit for MGP and for Eurovision.
Okay, so I definitely agree about being the stronger duel. That was like pretty obvious in my opinion. I was like, no, why are the 2 ones in the same duel? But anyway, so I would have preferred both of them being in the final of this heat, first of all. And second, I kind of have to defend unframe a bit, because you say it's dated. I think it's pretty current, because it kind of sounds like Ellen Walker. I kind of get these vibes, and I think she was cool. I liked her attitude. I liked her vocals. She kind of reminded me of Adele in terms of her looks. I don't know why, but apparently she kind of looks like her. I think the staging was great. I really, really appreciate that because of the floor, because it looked like she was falling down the squares. That was so cool. I was pretty sad about the result in this regard, that it should have been the final and not the duel. But America was amazing. Like let's face it, that was so good. I think her vocals were so great. She kind of reminds me of Sia because of her cracking. You know what I mean? Yeah. And her looks reminds me of Alma, the Finnish singer. That was really, really cool, this combination. And it's also so cool to see a woman like her, like it kind of looks like a bit punk, funky, and then singing such a ballad. I love this contrast. That's so amazing. I think it again shows that less is sometimes more. It was really straight back. There were only like a very few lighting effects, and that's all, but it was so impactful. I think her second performance was better than the first one, which is also like a very important point. And I totally understand why she was the winner of tonight. So good to her. Anything else about the duel you want to add on?
Well, I did want to point out that I did love all the staging. I think the stagings were all great. And that's the thing I've noticed in the entire MGP this year. All the staging were perfect.
Yeah, I would agree. I think especially, this year and last year as well, with this kind of new format of MGP, I think it just shows how dedicated they are and how seriously they take this, which is, really great to see. And I think they kind of, they've just embraced it and turned it into possibly maybe kind of like a second Melfest almost, like something huge and big that's going to be remembered for years to come. So congratulations, Norway, for that.
Yes, definitely. And I must agree that the staging is almost always a plus for me. I really have to say that this is great because it's also so different. Because there wasn't like a single performance which had the same staging. So it was always very different. Yes, so we also had an automatic qualifier, and it was Rain Alexander with the song Eyes Wide Open. What do you think about his performance? Who wants to start? Like Jess, what do you think?
So in last year's MGP, Rain Alexander was my favourite, and I just thought his song was just like epic and was the best. But his song this year, I feel like it's a bit of a come down from that. And I feel like, even though I don't like to compare, if I do on this occasion compare this year's song to last year's song, I don't think it's as strong or as memorable. And it doesn't, to me, scream like winner vibes. I still think it's a really good song, and Rain performed it very well in this semi-final. But I feel like, especially when you have contestants like Kano and Rainy, for example, it's going to be in Tix, who's like huge in Norway. I think he's going to struggle to stand out with this song. So I would love to see him back again next year with like One Last Time Part 2.
Twan?
Well, I'm going to disagree and say that I prefer Eyes Wide Open over One Last Time, even though I did also love One Last Time. I just feel like this song is more impactful. It has a little, somehow it has a little more power, especially the opening is really beautiful. His high note is perfect from going really low to really high. The only thing that I would change is that the beginning of the staging with the like chessboard, I didn't really get that. I think it was original, but I didn't really think it worked out well. I would have just preferred it to have been a normal shot.
Yeah. So the one thing which really got my attention was like the choreography, because that sound like this looked very, very complicated. I kind of saw the dancers struggling to be on point because they weren't in sync, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, it kind of distracted me from the performance itself, which is always a bad sign. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the song, I must say, because it's very theatrical, like in a theater or something. And for those who are into these kind of songs, this is like your performance. But for me, it's not. So honestly, I would have preferred, for example, Walking in My Sleep to be in the final instead of this one. But here we are. Anything else? Yeah, I must say, like, his vocal range is impressive. I must give him that. So the low voice and the high ones are really, really great. It kind of reminded me of like Croatia 2018, like my friend, kind of. Especially
yeah, 2017.
2017.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, 17. Because of the beginning, because there was also almost like speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a few moments where like, yeah, that's Jack. Anyway. Yeah. So what do you think about the chances of the two qualifiers? So like Rain, okay, he was automatic, but still, what do you think? Do they have a shot in the final?
I think so. I think it's a really strong Melodi Grand Prix, especially with you've Kaino, you've Tix, you've got Rayleigh, and then you've also got a lot of really good qualifiers from the semi-finals. But I think Rein Alexander definitely has a chance for the golden final, the final four. And whereas I think America, I love America's song, but I just think she's got a little less chance. But I don't know, I might be proven wrong. Let's see.
I mean, I would kind of slightly disagree there. I think I'm not so sure how well Rain is going to fare in the final, but I think America could do quite well just because of how kind of raw and emotional the song and the performance is. But as for the other, sorry, it was America that qualified. Yeah. So I think she has a good chance to potentially make like the final in the Melodi Grand Prix final, if that makes sense. But as for Rain, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I agree. So I definitely prefer America over Rain in this one, and I think her chances are better than his. I can also see her being in the top 4 or something. Not sure about the winning chances, but not because it's a bad song, because MGP really, really serves this year. I think the quality is very, very high, and I'm really, really impressed by it. But we will see, and then I'm pretty sure I won't get disappointed by the Norwegian representative for Eurovision, because there are so many good songs. So I would say we can wrap it up here. So I hope you liked this video. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.